Scholars! Happy Wednesday! Welcome to day 3 of our shared reading, reading the book Hats at Work. Before we get started, pause the video, go get your book and a pencil, and meet me back here. All right, let's get started. Last time we were together, we talked about some concepts about print, some things that we see in every book that we read, and some things that we need to remember if we're writing our own stories. We looked at capital letters and periods yesterday. Today, I want to talk to you about something new. I need your help. Can you show me the first word on this page? We're on page 3. Show me the first word on this page. Let's underline that word. That word is some. Now, can you show me the last word on this page? Nice. That word is work. Okay, now I want to talk to you about one more thing. I want to talk about commas today. A comma looks like this, and it tells me as a reader that I have to take a quick pause before I keep reading. I like to think of it as a quick breath. Watch me read it, recognizing the comma. Some hats keep you warm, like winter hats. Did you see how I took a quick pause after I read the word warm and before I read the word like? That's what readers do when they recognize and read using commas. Do you see any other commas on this page? Yeah, there's one right here. Some hats are fun, like birthday party hats. Did you see how I paused between fun and the word like? When you see a comma, you should take a quick pause before you continue reading. As we read today, I want you to keep your eye out for commas, and I want you to be sure that you're reading, taking a quick pause when you see them, so that your reading makes sense and sounds right. All right, readers, are you ready to read? Let's go. Hats at work. Hats at work. Some hats keep you warm, like winter hats. Some hats are fun, like birthday party hats. Some hats are for people to wear at work. A construction worker wears a hard hat. A hat like that keeps a worker's head safe on the job. On a ranch, a cowboy wears a cowboy hat. A hat like that has a wide brim and a high top to keep the cowboy's head cool. In the kitchen, there's a comma. We take a pause. Nice work, readers. Let's do it again. In the kitchen, a chef wears a chef's hat. A hat like that has a snug band and a puffy top to keep hair out of the way. A baseball player wears a baseball cap. A hat like that shows team spirit. A firefighter wears a sturdy firefighter's helmet. A hat like that keeps the firefighter's head safe in a fire. In the wild, an explorer wears a safari hat. A hat like that keeps the hot sun off the explorer's face and neck. Many workers wear hats. Which hat would you like to wear? Nice job, readers. You guys did such a good job of reading that story today. Be sure that if you didn't read it the first time with me, you go back and listen to me read it and you read it with me again. Or you can try reading it on your own today. All right, now I want to talk to you about something new. Today, I want to talk to you about how to retell, but not just to retell any story. Today, I want to talk to you about how to retell nonfiction stories. So remember, readers, that a nonfiction story teaches us true information about a topic. Now, I know most of you have probably gotten pretty good at retelling fiction stories. With fiction stories, we can use a 5-finger retell, like this one. Do you recognize this? With the characters and setting in the beginning, middle, and end? That's how we retell a fiction story. But we are not going to use that for our retell today. Today, I'm going to teach you a different 5-finger strategy that we can use to retell nonfiction stories. The first step in retelling a nonfiction story is to identify the topic and main idea. The topic is what our story is about, and the main idea is what the author is trying to teach us. The next part of our retell in a nonfiction story is our first detail. That's where we get to tell the first thing that we learned from our story. The second part is the second detail. And then we give the third detail. And the last part is to tell something new that we learned from reading the book, or a question that we still have after reading the story. That is how we retell a story using the nonfiction 5-finger rule. Are you guys ready to practice retelling our story together? So, the first step in retelling a nonfiction text is to identify the topic and the main idea. Now let's think back to the book that we read today. What's the topic? Oh, hats. The topic is hats. I'm going to underline it so that we remember. Now, what is the main idea? What is the author trying to teach us through this book? Let's go back and see if we can use our book to help us figure out what the author was trying to teach us. I remember on this page we learned about all the different reasons people wear hats. To keep warm, for fun at parties, and for work. So there's lots of different reasons people wear hats. And then I remember reading about lots of different workers and the hats they wore. And I remember learning about what made their hats special. And then at the end, it says many workers wear hats. Is that what we learned about in this book? That many workers wear hats? Yeah, that's pretty much what we learned about in this book. That's the main idea. We could say it in another way too. We could say people wear different hats for work. Or many workers wear different types of hats. So our topic is hats, and our main idea is that different workers wear different types of hats. Now, let's talk about our first detail. The details are things that we learned from this story. So one thing that I learned from this story was that some people wear hats to keep them safe at work, like the construction workers. I also remember learning that some people wear hats to keep their hair out of their eyes and out of their face and off of the food, like chefs. Finally, I remembered learning that some people wear hats to keep themselves safe when they are in the sun. It helps protect their skin from the hot, hot sun. So we've learned 3 things. I told my 3 details, and now I'm going to end my retell by stating a question or something that I learned, something new I learned. Today, I want to finish my retell with a question. I am still wondering, what other workers wear hats and why do they wear hats? Did you see how I did a retell by first identifying the topic and the main idea, by giving my 3 details, and then by asking a question? I'm going to put it all together now. Today we read a story called Hats at Work, and it was about how different workers wear different types of hats. One thing I learned was that people wear hats to stay safe when they're at work. Another thing I learned is that people wear hats to keep the hair out of their eyes and off of the food, like chefs. I also learned that some people wear hats to protect themselves in the sun. I'm wondering, what other workers wear hats and why do they wear those hats? That's how you do a 5-finger retell of nonfiction text. I want to challenge you today to try to retell this story to someone else in your family. I'll see you tomorrow, scholars. Bye.